Hello and welcome to Yarn Craftee. My name is Rose and I am super excited to guide you through how to crochet this chunky crochet vest. Find the written pattern on the blog www.yarncraftee.com. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you. For this pattern I'm using chunky yarn weight and a 6mm hook. Of course you need tapestry needle and some stitch markers as well as you go. So you may want to check the gauge of the pattern so that you know that you're using the right yarn weight for this project. And don't forget that you can check the written pattern on the blog www.yarncraftee.com. Alright, without further ado, let's dive in. Oh, there it is. I've been looking for that. Okay, so I'm going to start with a chain of 46. Chains done, and now we're going to skip 1, 2 chains, and into the third chain we're going to make a double crochet stitch. So please note that for this project chain 2 does not count as a stitch. So even though we're skipping chain 2 here, it's not a stitch. And when we go ahead and chain 2 on the next row, it doesn't count as a stitch. Only the double crochets count as stitches. Alright, so double crochet into the third chain from hook, second, fourth, and into each of the chains across the row. So you see that I'm working into the back bump, right, and not here. Like I always say, this is my preference. I prefer to just work into the back bump most of the time. However, sometimes I work directly into the chain like this. So let's finish the row with double crochet stitches. Okay, done with double crochet stitches on this row. Chain 2 and turn, double crochet into the first stitch and into each of the stitches across the row. Let's go again. Repeat another row of double crochet stitches. So chain 2, turn, into the first stitch we go, double crochet and double crochet into each of the stitches across the row. Alright, 3 rows of double crochet stitches. Now we're going to extend this because this is the front panel. So we're going to extend it to create the armhole. And I'm going to chain 27 chains and turn. Alright, skip the first chain and into the next chain we'll go and make a half double crochet stitch. So that means by the time I'm done working half double crochets into these chains, we'll have 27 half double crochet stitches, right? Because we chained 27 and we skipped the very first chain. So let's continue to make half double crochets into the chains. So as you can see, I'm still working into the back bumps of the chains. I would kind of suggest you do that as well. So let's continue to do that across the row. Across the chains. Okay, and the last chain is right here. So be sure not to skip it. See, this is it right here. So we're going to make a half double crochet into the last chain as well, and we will continue to make half double crochet across the in the rest of the stitches across the row. So let's finish this row, row 4, with half double crochet stitches. Alright, and that's the end of the half double crochet row. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is the 4th row. Now chain 2, turn, because now we're going to be doing a double crochet row. This time we're going to be working into the back loop only. Alright, take a good look here. So we have well, this is a half double crochet stitch, and this is how it appears really. So we say, sometimes it's said that a half double crochet has a third loop, right? Because you see these look like V's, yeah? Do you see them? And then you have up here also, huh? So what we want to do now is to work into this one right here, only this one, so that these two will be left, right? We want to create that design by not working into, ordinarily we will just go like this into the stitch with the V, and then this one will be here, but no, we're going to leave these and we're going to work into the back loop only. You see that? So let's go into the first stitch, into the back loop only, double crochet, and into the next double crochet, back loop only. Alright, now I'm about to work into the very last stitch on the row. So we would do this, right? Work into the back loop only. But I really hate it. That's a strong word, but that's really how I feel when I work a stitch, and especially towards the end, and it's gaping like this. So unless that's part of the design, if it's lacy, but otherwise I like it to be as close as possible. So in the very last stitch, I'm just going to work under both loops. Yeah, I feel better now. Okay, chain 1, turn, half double crochet into the first stitch and into the next stitch, and each of the stitches across the row. So what we want to do now for the next few rows is to work half double crochet stitches and double crochet stitches. So after we work half double crochet stitch across, chain 2, turn, and begin to work half double crochet, double crochets into the back loop only of the half double crochet stitches, just like we just did for this row. So let's go ahead and repeat that, those 2 rows of half double crochet stitches and double crochet stitches. Remember that when you're working the half double crochet row, at the beginning you should chain 2, or rather at the end of the half double crochet stitch row, chain 2 and turn, and at the end of the double crochet stitch row, chain 1 and turn, to begin a new row of half double crochet stitches. So let's repeat this, and I will see you when we need to begin to decrease. Work the stitches across a couple of rows, so half double crochet, double crochet rows. Now at this point we're going to shape it to mark out, to make out the neckline. So I worked these stitches up to halfway of the armhole, In the next 2 stitches, we're going to decrease, alright? Double crochet, decrease. You can please refer to the reading pattern so you know how many stitches you're going to be leaving out. So that's our double crochet decrease. Working into the back loop still of the half double crochet. There we go. Chain 1 and turn. Skip the very first stitch because we're still decreasing, and half double crochet into the next stitch and half double crochet into each of the stitches across the row. At the end, chain 2, turn, and make another row of half double crochet stitches. Remember to work into the back loop only of the half double crochet stitches. And when we come back to this point right here, we're going to decrease again across 2 stitches. Okay, so we were here before on the half double crochet row. So we work the half double crochet all the way down, chain 2, turned, and work the single pattern double crochet row all the way across. Now we have 2 stitches left here. We're going to decrease again. Remember, in the back loop only. You can seem to find back loop here, but let's see. Okay, it's right there. And there we go. Alright, chain 1, turn, and half double crochet into the first stitch. So we have done our last decrease here, which is the double crochet stitch. For the next couple of rows, we're going to be working half double crochet and double crochet stitches. We're going to extend. We will extend the body, and we will increase at the other side, so we can make up for the ones we decreased here, and we'll extend it all the way up for the rest of the armhole on the other side. So for now that we're done increasing, let's begin to work into each of the stitches. So I've done half double crochet into the first stitch here, meaning I'm not decreasing on this row anymore. No more decreases, only double crochets and half double crochet stitches. I don't know why I keep stuttering on the half double crochet name. So let's do that. Half double crochets, and at the end of the row, chain 2, turn, and work double crochet stitches into the back loops only of the half double crochet stitches. And we'll continue to extend that until we need to increase. Alright, now everything we've repeated from here to this other side is half double crochet and double crochet rows. This was our last decrease, the double crochet 2 together, and then we began to work half double crochet and all of that. So that means this row is the same number of stitches with all of them all the way down. Now we want to extend it, and the next row is a half double crochet, so that means we're going to now increase. Alright, so let's chain 1 after the last double crochet row, chain 1 and turn into the first stitch here. We'll do 2 half double crochet stitches. And half double crochet into the rest of the stitches, and half double crochet into the last stitch, chain 2, turn, and double crochet into the first stitch, back loop only. So double crochet into each of the stitches across, and in the last stitch we'll make 2 double crochet stitches. Alright, we're increasing so we can have the same number here. And let's finish the row with 2 stitches in the last stitch, so 2 double crochets there. Alright, so now that we're done with this part, we're going to extend the arm. So here, if we count it here, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 stitches, and that's for a half double crochet row. So I'm going to chain 12 because we're going to skip the first chain. There, skip the first chain, half double crochet in the next chain, and in the next chain. Once we finish that, we're going to now proceed with half double crochets into the remaining stitches. So once we complete this part of half double crochet stitches, carry on with double crochet stitches, alright? Half double crochet across, and then the same number of rows we have on this side for here is the same number we want to have on this side. So now this is a half double crochet stitch, which is this, and I have the double crochet HDC, DC, HDC, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm going to be repeating 5 rows, and then I'll join you back when we need to work at the bottom of this place. All right, so let's repeat half double crochets, half double crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, double crochet for the same number that we have here. So now we want to complete here on this side. So what we're going to do now is, so this is the last step. This is the half double crochet row. And chain 2 and turn. So you might want to mark it so you know where to stop. You know where to stop on this side, right? And after you finish that row of double crochet, chain 2, turn, and work another row of double crochet, chain 2, turn, and work one last row of double crochet. So we're going to be working only double crochets, 3 rows of double crochet stitches on here, just like we have here. What we want to do now is to make the back panel. The back panel is the same. The only difference is this is going to be higher. So we're going to work this all up to this point until we have 2 stitches left, and we will decrease, and we will just continue to repeat the same number of rows, well, depending on the size, of course. So you want to refer to the reading pattern. So I already started for the back panel. So once you start that way, you will now, like I said, leave 2 stitches and decrease. So we will decrease, double crochet, decrease, right? There we go. Chain 1, turn. Skip the first stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch. So you see that? It's a repeat of what we did here. The only difference is we're doing it further up the row. So you want to repeat this. Everything you've done for the front panel all up to this point, repeat, and take it up, leave 2 stitches, decrease across those last 2 stitches, and when you turn, chain 1, skip the first stitch like we've done here, half double crochet into the next stitch, and half double crochet into each of the stitches across. Alright, so back here at double crochet row. So this is where we were. Double crochet, decrease on the last 2 stitches, chain 1, turn, skip the first stitch, half double crochet in the next stitch, and each stitch across, chain 2, turn, double crochet in back loop only of the half double crochet stitches except the last 2 stitches, and decrease. It's just exactly the same thing, like I've been repeating exactly the same thing we've done on here. So let's decrease. This is the third decrease, and decrease. Okay, so chain 1 and turn, half double crochet into the first stitch because we're not decreasing anymore, right? And half double crochet into each of the stitches across. At the end of the row, chain 2, turn, and make double crochet stitches into the back loops only of the half double crochet stitches. So from there on, we're just going to be repeating even rows, no decreases anymore. So let's go ahead and repeat this, and I'll see you when we need to extend so that we can have the same number of stitches we have here as the other side. Okay, here we are. I have the same number of rows now. Okay, so we're going to increase. To extend it up like this side. So we're going to chain 1 now, turn, 2 half double crochet stitches in there, and half double crochet into the remaining stitches. Chain 2 and turn, and we will continue to work double crochet stitches into the back loops only of the half double crochet stitches all the way to the end of the row. In the last stitch of the row, we're going to increase. Now we are at the end of the row. We will make 2 double crochet stitches into the last stitch, which completes the number of stitches we have on one side with the one we have on this other side. We don't need to extend the row like we did here because we didn't skip any stitches on the side besides decreasing. So making these last 2 half double crochet stitches makes up for the same number here. Now what we want to do is repeat the other part, the remaining number of rows to complete the panel. So repeat the same thing you've done for the front panel, apart from raising these. So now we're just going to chain 1, turn, and continue to make half double crochet across and then double crochet across the row. When you're done with that, you want to leave a tail so that you can use that to weave in, to join the panels together. Alright, so once we finish, we'll have this. So you want to leave a tail because we're going to use it to join the pieces together. And after we're done with that, we want to attach a ribbed piece down here on the back panel, also for the front panel. So that means we're going to make 2 of these, 2 of the ribbon. Okay, so here's the formula that we're using for this to know how many rows we need to make. So these first 3 rows are double crochets, right? So this will be 2 because the ribbon is done in single crochet. 2 rows for this, 2, okay? So we have 2, 4, 6, all right? And we are here on the half double crochet row. This will be 1, and this again is the double crochet. This will be 2. So let's say we have 2, 4, 6, and then we begin to count in threes: 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, because it's a double crochet row, right? So we're counting two rows for this. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we're going to do that all the way up to this point, and from here, because these last 3 are also double crochet stitches, 2, 4, 6. So in all, for all of this, I'm going to be making 58 rows of single crochet stitches. All right, well, let me start first and then you will see what I am talking about. So I'm going to start with this plain color so that you can really see the stitches. So I'm here now, and chain 10. Okay, single crochet into the second chain from hook. Alright, 1 row of single crochet stitches done. Chain 1 and turn in the back loop only. Alright, so we have these 2 loops. I'll work into only this one right here. Okay, in the front loop, I mean, because this is the one that's facing us. In the front loop only, single crochet in the next as well, and in the last stitch. Alright, chain 1 and turn. Row 3. Row 3, we will work into the back loop only. These 2 loops, this is the front loop where we just worked into on the previous row, and then back loop now. Back loop only. Alright, chain 1 and turn. Row 4. We're going to go again and work into the front loop only. So we're alternating between front loop and back loop. On one row, you do front loop. On the next row, you do back loop. On the next, front loop. And on the next, back loop. So now we're doing front loop. So, okay, this is what we have so far. So see, now we have 4 rows here. What this means is when we come and join this ribbed part to the body, we're going to have, this is 4 rows of single crochet. We're going to join this across 2 double crochet rows only, because remember, 2 rows of single crochet stitches will make up for 1 row of double crochet stitch. You want to count your own piece to know how many, and also refer to the written pattern, because there will be a guide on that. So once we finish with the trimming at the bottom, we want to do the ones for the neckline. Okay, now we're going to do the trimming for the neckline. We're going to follow the same pattern by counting in threes. So for the front panel, I have here is 25 stitches, okay, for this size. All of this counting in threes: 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and 25. Okay, and I'll count off this sides. The stitches on this sides are 11, so 11, 11, and 25. Also, don't forget the back panel also. So that means because we have 25 here, down here, we're also going to have 25 around here for the back panel. Okay, let's start with a chain of 6. And single crochet into the second chain from the hook and into each of the chains across. So that means we're going to have 5 single crochet stitches. Chain 1 and turn. Now working into the front loop only, right? Front loop only, single crochet into the first stitch and the next 3 stitches. Alright, we have one more stitch left here. What we want to do in this one, in the front loop only, is a slip stitch. Slip stitch. Chain 1 and turn. Okay. To make it easier for yourself, you could always mark the slip stitch after you make it, alright, so that you identify that this is a slip stitch. Because for this one, for this ribbon, we're going to be working slip stitches into the slip stitches. Alright. Okay, chain 1, slip stitch and turn. And now we're going to be working into the back loop only. Right, so let's go into that slip stitch in the back loop. We're going to make another slip stitch. Yeah, and in the next 4 stitches we're going to make single crochet stitches. In the back loops only. Alright, chain 1 and turn. And working into the front loop again, single crochet into the first stitch and the next 3 stitches. Alright, we have our slip stitch here now. And we're going to work into the front loop only of the last slip stitch. We're going to make another slip stitch into here in the front loop only. So how to know where you should be working the slip stitches? Just take a look at this tail. You know that if the tail is on this side, you shouldn't be working slip stitches on this side at all. Okay, so all the slip stitches will end on this side, whether as the last stitch, or if I chain 1 and turn now, or as the first stitch on the row. But just know the tail on this side, no slip stitches on this side. Only slip stitches only fall on this side, and the slip stitch is done inside the slip stitch, except for the beginning where we began with the single crochet all across. So this is how we're going to be repeating it, exactly the same way we did for the other brim. At the bottom is what we want to do here. The only difference is we're going to be working a slip stitch into the very last stitch or the very first stitch, depending on which side you turn. Okay, so let's repeat this all around. Alright, once we complete the neck trim, it's going to be something like this. It's going to be curved up because of the slip stitches we did on this part. So after we finish for the neck, we want to move on to make one for the sleeves. We're following the same formula. On here I have 25 stitches. 25 stitches. So together that will be 50. And then here we have 3 stitches, 3 rows of double crochet stitches, which will amount to 6 stitches, right? Because we're doing 2 single crochet stitch rows for 1 row of double crochet. So that's 6, and here 6, so that's 12 together, plus this together is 50, and plus 12, that's 72. So we want to do this the same way we did for the neck collar. So that means we will be working slip stitches at the side. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm going to do 72. So just repeat this the same way we've done it. Alright, once we complete the panels and all of the pieces the ribbon, we want to start to join. So this is one of the pieces for the bottom, and this is the front. So we're going to be sewing from the back, the wrong side, as well as the piece that we want to join into. This is the right side and this is the wrong side. So I'm going to pass this yarn through to the other side. Remember, this is the wrong side, okay? The wrong side is facing up. Here we go. So now I'm going to start to join. First we want to join this place properly. So I'll go here first into this see this DC. I'll just go in there by the side, the chain at the side. Go in there and wrap it around to the stitch on the side. I'll do it again because we want it to be as neat as possible and firm also. Okay, alright, that feels better. So now, so that's one stitch join. Remember that we're doing, for this side where we have double crochet stitches, 2 rows of this single crochet will be 1 row of DC here. So now I'm going to go in and connect it to the second row of single crochet stitches. You want to take your time when you are joining these pieces, right? So that you're doing it in the right place. So that's 1, 2 for 1 row of double crochet. Now I'm going to go to the next row here, and I'm going to join to this next row of double crochet. Alright, and I will go again for this same row of double crochet and go into the next row of single crochet. So 2 to 1, 2 rows of single crochet to 1 row of double crochet. So just take your time on this, and you're not going to miss it. So I'm going to the next row now of double crochet, the 3rd row. So that's 1 row of single crochet joined. I'm going to go again and go to the next row. How do I know the stitches I'm working into? I can see them. You know, I can see them, I can count them. I know that this is the front, I know this is the back. The one with the ridge here like this, all this is the back of a single crochet stitch. So I can see them, and I'm also taking my time to really do this, no rushing. Alright, so now that I've completed the double crochet rows, now we're going to begin to do half double crochet and double crochet. So 1 row, this is the next row of single crochet stitches. So 1 of this row will go into 1 of the rows for the half double crochet row. Okay, now moving on to the next row, which is this, I'm going to join it to the double crochet row. Let me join this again to the same row. This is the half double crochet row. I'm joining it to the same row of single crochet that I just joined it to, just to close up that gap and make it firmer. Okay, now next row of single crochet, next 2 rows of single crochet to 1 row of double crochet. Alright, so this is what we want to be repeating across the row. Towards the end, as you join, you will see that this part probably stretches more than this. So what you want to do as you continue working to be stretching this part to meet up with this end. And when you finish, you will finish it just the way you started. You will wrap these 2 pieces around from the very last stitch. So let's wrap it and wrap it around this other one here. Okay. And wrap it. So we're going to block this. After we block it, it's going to all align properly. So this is what it's going to look like. You can only see this. You can see this contrast best because I decided to just experiment with another color of yarn. So once we join this, you want to also join the other panel, the bottom of the other panel. Okay, join the bottom of the other panel. Now we're going to join the shoulders. So we will align them, each stitch row to each stitch row, and join them. After we join the shoulders, we're going to join the neckline ribbing and the rest of the other parts. I'm swimming through each row twice. There we go. All joined. I'm going to take this back in again. Alright. Now let's do the same thing for the other side. Alright, we have completed these parts. Now we want to join this piece. So we're going to join this piece with the slip stitch end facing up, that is the curved part facing up, and we want to start this in one of the edges there. So first things first, because this is the part that we're going to be joining from, I'm going to pass the yarn all the way to back to the bottom there. So let us start to join to the first stitch on that place. Okay, so that's the first stitch row to the first stitch on there. I'll go in again into the same stitch row and same stitch. Okay, and then the second stitch row, second stitch in the second stitch row. And the third stitch row into the third stitch. 1, 2, 3. Fourth stitch into the fourth stitch row. Okay, so let's repeat this, and then we get down here and we begin to combine two rows of single crochet stitches for 2 rows of double crochet stitches, 1 row of single crochet stitch to 1 row of half double crochet stitches. Now we're going to start to work into the rows down here. So you want to take note of this part, right? Once you get to this part, make sure you turn and see that you're not going to work into the next stitch, because I mean it's already the beginning of another row down here. So this is the last stitch where we're just joining to. Now we're going to head onto the body in the center there. Okay, so I'm going to go there now and join to a single crochet row. Okay, and the next row and into the same double crochet row. Half double crochet row. Will be joined into 1 single crochet row. The next row into the double crochet row. The same double crochet row into another single crochet row. So we're going to carry on doing this till we get to the other part again. Alright, so far this is what we have. This is what it looks like in front. So now we're going to continue again on the next stitch row. And on the stitch here, you go. Okay, so let's do this and then we'll come to the back and we continue again. Okay, so once we get to this point now, we see that this is still open, right? So we're going to close it up by joining these 2 pieces. Alright, there we go. So all closed up now. Alright, so now let's join the sides. Now let's do the side. and into the next. So just matching stitch for stitch on this one. So we want to sew it so that, and leave the gap between these two, right? We're only joining the body, not the bottom brim. So let's start working here. I'm just going to pass this to the other side. Alright, so that has covered 6 rows, has covered 3 rows. 6 rows of single crochet have covered 3 rows of double crochet stitches. And now we're going to work single stitches into the first one here. This half double crochet stitch. Now we're matching the row and stitch, so that will be 1-1. Alright, so let's repeat this around. Okay, let's finish this part. Now done working into the single stitches. Now we're back to these last 3 rows of double crochet stitches. So and the last single crochet stitch row. Alright, this is good. So now once we've done all of this, we're going to connect these two. Let me make another one here. And we'll do the other side. So when we finish joining, this is what it'll look like. See, it's all puffy, yeah, because the stitches are still kind of stiff. So you want to block this. I promise it's going to make a huge difference when you block it. Okay, take note of the sides here, right, where we will leave these open. So go ahead and block this piece. Thank you for joining me on this tutorial. I hope you get to make one, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. God bless you. Bye.